Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video,
Breaking news. The Trump administration questions Native Americans' birthright citizenship in court. The Trump administration argued in court to limit birthright citizenship for certain groups of people here in the United States. Part of their argument involved questioning whether Native Americans, who are citizens of their own tribal nations, qualified for U.S. citizenship under the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, states that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are United States citizens. This basically means that anyone born on U.S. soil automatically is a United States citizen. However, the Trump administration is focused on one phrase of the 14th Amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And they argue that not everyone born in the United States qualifies as subjects to the jurisdiction of the United States. The Justice Department cited the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which was ratified 2 years prior to the 14th Amendment, and is one of the earliest laws that defines citizenship. What's interesting about this is that it excludes two groups of people from citizenship. The first is subject to a foreign power and Indians not taxed. Historically, the United States government treated all Native Americans as belonging to separate nations and not to the United States. And that all changed in 1924 with the passage of the Indian Citizenship Act, which granted all Native Americans in the United States citizenship. The Trump administration is arguing that the 14th Amendment should still exclude Native Americans because we are still subjects to a foreign power, which is our tribal nations, and they are citing a Supreme Court case that was decided in 1884 that stated that Native Americans are not U.S. citizens unless they denounce their allegiance to their tribes. This is very controversial because the United States government and tribal nations have a long-standing agreement stating that Native Americans can have dual citizenship with the United States government and with our tribes. And the arguments that the Trump administration is trying to make will undermine all of this and throw away hundreds of years of treaties and negotiations that allow us to have our tribal sovereignty today. In addition to that, the 1884 Supreme Court case that decided that Native Americans are not U.S. citizens unless they renounce their tribal allegiance was basically deemed useless after the passage of the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924.
with this whole birthright citizenship that they've been talking about, that TP has been trying to revoke, sort of, I'm so shocked that he's talking about Native Americans. Like, how on earth do you bring in those people into the conversation? It's quite funny because these are like, from some of the things I've read, these are like people who owns the whole thing, right? These are the people who come from this place. They are the natives of the land. And from what this guy has explained, they are a tribe on their own and they've been granted to stay here. Okay, there's this collaboration between them, there's this agreement. So where is the whole questioning of their citizenship, their whole birthright? Where is it coming from? I am so shocked because one would think it's just us seeing, them talking about Africans, Latinos, and every other person who came in, okay, who came into the country as migrants and not people who has always been there. So this thing is also touching the whites. Okay. Anyway, let's go watch out more videos. Let me know what your thoughts, guys, are in the comment section. But I am shocked. Yeah, I am really shocked because I didn't imagine it to get to this length. I didn't imagine it to get to the natives because these are people we have always seen as, real Americans, like, right? These are people, like, when you see them, their tribes, their facial expression, their facial look, the way they look, the way they appear, their physique, shows you that these people, right? And they've always been there. Nobody has talked about them, trying to look at the whole amendment that happened some years ago. Okay, nobody had talked about it. And all of a sudden, it's coming up now. You all voted for them.
Well, it looks like Donald Trump's attempt to get rid of birthright citizenship is about a lot more than just immigrants. It's also about stripping citizenship from indigenous people. Justice Department lawyers are arguing that the 14th Amendment reads, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States." And that they're arguing that because indigenous people owe allegiance to their tribe, they are not under the subject of the jurisdiction of the United States and thus are not entitled to American citizenship or to birthright citizenship. Once again, this is just white supremacy at work, folks.
Donald Trump just signed an executive order which eliminates the White House initiative on advancing educational equity, excellence, and economic opportunity for Native Americans, and strengthening tribal colleges and universities. This means the government will no longer support in addressing the systemic barriers that Native American students face when trying to attain quality education. This includes access to resources, culturally responsive curriculum like Native American history and native languages, and student support services. The government will no longer support programs and initiatives aimed at improving teaching quality, curriculum relevance, and student outcomes at all grade levels. The government will no longer support in bridging the gap between academic and career success. So workforce development programs are no longer in question. This also includes internships and financial aid opportunities. Tribal colleges and universities will most likely see a huge loss in funding due to the fact that they provide higher education rooted in Native cultures, languages, and traditions. This executive order is in direct violation of tribal sovereignty and self-determination.
Now Trump's immigration raids target Native Americans. I'm sorry. Bitch, what? Like, hello? Where the fuck are Native Americans going to go? It's literally in the fucking name. They are native. They are indigenous to the land in America. However you want, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. Navajo Nation reported that 15 indigenous individuals were questioned and detained by federal agents. And they did this in a recent immigration enforcement effort under the Trump administration. It was cited that the encounters were negative and traumatizing experiences. Navajo Nation also expressed concerns about racial discrimination and profiling in these interactions. And do you want to know what the issue was? Native American CIB cards. If you don't know what a CIB card, it stands for a Certificate of Indian Blood. And despite having CIBs and state-issued IDs, some tribal members were still questioned about their citizenship. Why? Because there were concerns about the validity of CIB cards being proof of citizenship. What do you mean there's confusion? Bitch, they were here before us. How are you going to detain people and question their citizenship status when you are standing on land we stole from them? Now, Native Americans were granted U.S. citizenship in 1924, but Trump's legal team has referenced outdated rulings, and they've been questioning indigenous citizenship to justify restrictive immigration policies. And many elders in these Native American tribes lack formal documentation because they were born at home, making it even harder for them to prove their citizenship. Which, again, why are you asking Native Americans to prove their citizenship? Native Americans have already been burdened by a history of being forcefully removed from their ancestral lands, and now they have to worry about deportation. Deport them where?
Have you checked on your American friends lately? Because we're not okay. The past 10 days has felt like a year. For so many of us right now, we cannot keep up with all of these horrific executive orders coming down hour after hour, day after day in the first 10 days. Add to that the first commercial plane crash in over a dozen years, claiming the lives of everyone involved. It is genuinely looking bleak over here for a lot of us. We are doing our best not to have our spirits crushed. And as somebody who works in mental health, I can tell you this feels like COVID all over again. It is my job to help other people day in and day out. And I'm struggling. And I know I am not the only one in this position. Healthcare providers in this country are struggling. I know we have so many allies all over the world, and we appreciate it so immensely. And there are so many things that I wish we could take a page from you right now, because in this country, we are going sideways so fast, and many of us do not know what to do to stop it. Thank you for listening. I needed to get that off my chest. Please go ahead and follow me on my other platforms in case this ever gets banned again in America. Go figure.
But wait a minute, how do you actually send out people who has been living there before you came in? It's really funny, right? And you guys, with this whole deportation thing happening everywhere, I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but I just feel so bad for people who have been deported. But bringing it on to Native Americans who has been there before you came in, then is something to really check on if you are really doing the right thing. I think there's some for people to start suing, right? That there are actually a lot of laws that prevent this from happening. And I am so shocked that somebody who might want to go against the law to, make those people go out without thinking twice or even trying, as far as like thinking about it alone is something that should have never been at all. These guys have been here for ages. Okay, growing up, I've always known about them, Native Americans. You keep hearing Native Americans. There's, I think they have like Indian blood or so. Like we've always heard about them, right? And I'm so shocked that this will be questioned, their citizenship and birthright and all of that. If you want to take away birthright citizenship, okay, there are ways to go about it. But thinking about the natives, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments, right? Let's have that conversation. But with the whole raids, ICE raids and all of that going across the nation, you guys, you got to be safe, okay? And I see a lot of Latinos complaining online on how people don't really care, okay? Nobody's talking about them. The reason a lot of people are so surprised about Native Americans just because these people were here before, okay? But who they voted for is what I don't know, okay? If you voted for these other persons, or do they even have right to vote in America? You guys let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. I really don't have that idea, but I would really love to learn from you guys. Do they have right to vote, okay, as natives, okay, knowing fully well with the whole explanation this other first guy has done? Do they have right to really vote, okay, or they are just pledging allegiance to their tribes and staying by it and not having right to do other things? And also, if everything is rolled back and them not being able to access education as it should be, or as they have always been assessing student loans, everything in between, it's going to affect a lot of people. It's going to affect people, right? It's going to affect Americans. It's going to affect the natives. It's also going to affect anybody from anywhere, okay? Both documented, undocumented. This is going to affect everyone. And this is what people have been trying to tell you guys about. That if you are casting a vote, think about it well before casting that vote, because you never can tell how your vote will affect the people around you. Even if it doesn't affect you directly, it's going to make some kind of impact in the lives of people around you. And some of you are aware of this. Some of you just didn't care if it's going to affect people or it's not going to affect people. Some of you don't care. What you wanted to do was just cast that vote, and whoever it affects, fine, as far as it doesn't come to your doorstep. But now some of the policies are also affecting you and it's coming to your doorstep. This time around, it's touching everyone one after the other. If you're not leaving, your brother is leaving, or you have an undocumented spouse who is leaving. Just like I've made videos of some ladies who were complaining about their spouses and how they are scared of their spouses going out and them getting caught by ICE and being deported. They're all scared Okay, so somehow it's going to affect you as a person, even if you say, oh, it's not my business. Okay, and for some of you who also say, oh, you don't care if your brother or your sister is being deported, trust me, you're going to feel it. You're also going to feel it. Nobody wants to be an island in another man's country, right? So it is quite shocking that some of you decided to do this in your own interest or against your own interest, and now you are all about complaining about it. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let's have that conversation, right? Let's have that conversation. Bring it on, bring it on. Let's have it. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let's have that conversation in the comment section. And please do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.